Let's do the intro again for the people on YouTube, if this is one of those that gets put on YouTube. This is game number 2 between Apocalypse and RenieHouR.
Welcome, Commander.
Apocalypse, RenieHouR taking game number 1 with some really cool infested play in the bottom right, randoming between Kalanerazim, Swarm, and Covenant, getting Covenant. Apocalypse. In the upper left, RenieHouR choosing between Swarm and Infested, getting Infested. In the last tournament, Renie was all about Kalanerazim. In this tournament, it seems like he's all about Swarm Infested. That's exciting. It's nice to see some diversity. And more Infested. You know, it makes up for the lack of Infested games prior. We've had a really good spread of race usage, and it's because Summer Loud keeps changing the rules to force players to random between more than 2. So in this round, in this tournament, in the first match, you have to random at least between 3. It looks like Apocalypse is always randoming between the same 4, except maybe until the last game. We'll see. And then in the second game, you can random between 2, and then in the last game, you can pick your race. Now, I think the best of 7, which will be the finals, it will be a best of 7, not a best of 5 like it's been in the past, and you have to random between every race, which I think will be neat, but will definitely hurt some players who have no idea how to play some of the different races, but it depends on who gets there. I mean, good players will still perform well. Regardless, we actually have a very fast Mobius compound from Apocalypse. This is probably the very first Covenant game that I've ever seen where somebody is going Mobius compound before Tal'Darim Anvil. Now, the Tal'Darim Anvil allows you to get fast devotees, and they have a 4.2 movement speed, so they zip-zoom their little butts across the map really fast. Really fast. And it's good early scouting, and a lot of people do that. But instead, fast Mobius compound. He's also walling himself in because he might think he's facing Swarm. I don't think he's scouted yet, but we can double check. Yeah, he hasn't scouted yet, so he doesn't know what he's up against, and this is a very large map. So he could have Zerglings on his front door and wouldn't realize it, so that's why I think this, I don't know if this is a wall-in or not. Looks like it might be, just based on the circles there. A Zergling might be able to fit. Oh, excuse me. I mean, and also the graphics of the Mobius magazines. It's based on a supply depot, but the model might be such that it looks like there's a wall and there's not. Another thing that I think Apocalypse is about to do here, just so that he can... Yeah, that must be walled in completely, I'm not sure. Or I think Renie just realized he wasn't going to get through, so he moved the feederling. But it might just look like there's a space and there's not. But what's going to happen here, Apocalypse can use his mothership to rearrange space-time eventually and move one of these buildings so that he's not totally walled in, if it is a complete wall-in. We have a very fast expansion from RenieHouR as he's getting his Roach Warren. Same build as last time. And I would expect to see something very similar this time around, but Covenant has some crazy anti-group, anti-clump abilities with Psionic Orb, things like that, but no Tal'Darim anything coming out here from Apocalypse. Interestingly enough, he moved his mothership on top of this and using it to scout to see if maybe he's going to be attacked early. And so Renie knows Apocalypse is Covenant, but Apocalypse hasn't scouted at all. I mean, he saw the feederling theoretically, so he should know. His opponent is Infested, and perhaps he can expect the same build, but again, Covenant, fast Predators, so he's going to use these. These are similar to how they are in the campaign. Regenerative Biosteel, and they can jump up and down cliffs. They're like melee Reapers. They're very strong. They can do a lot of damage. They're very fast, as you can see, and this is a great map for them because they can move so quickly, so very fast. So let's follow these for a while, and we can see he can use these to jump up and down this cliff here and hit a lot of these feederlings. There is an Infested commander here, but he is light. Here's the spawn Infested colony I was talking about. But the issue is that these Predators... Ooh, really good use of Banelings right there. We just had spawn Banelings right there. Really good use to get rid of those Predators. But they did take out one Infested commander, I believe. This is a different Infested commander, right? The first one died. Yeah, okay. The first one died. We got the Scrutinizer, the fast Scrutinizer coming out to spawn. But really good use of Banelings. That is the Infested's Town Hall defensive mechanic. If you're just showing up here and you're not familiar with HeptaCraft, all the macro mechanics are removed. Instead, all of the Town Halls have some sort of defensive or utility ability. So here's Infested. They've got spawn Banelings, which we just saw right there, to defend against those Predators. And then drop pods, which we saw last time. Like I was saying, it costs money. Does cost money. But you need a Soaring Roost to get it. But you can drop pods anywhere. It just gives you a small group of roaches anywhere on the map that you can see, which is pretty cool. It does cost money, though, and it uses, I think, all of the energy, most of the energy on your Town Hall. So you can't just spam it either. The Scrutinizer's just hanging out. I wonder... No, nothing. I see Glio Reconstitution. I was wondering if maybe we were going to see a Nidus Canal. Instead, we've got the Evo Chamber coming up for basic upgrades. Much faster Glio Reconstitution than last match, and a Maggot Nest. Now, we didn't see any maggots last time, but we will this time. More Predators. More Predators this time. More Spawn Banelings, though. Near handily getting rid of them. One Predator going down, though. And how many did he get right there? Is it worth it? Only 3 workers total, and one of those was one that he killed when it was in his base, scouting. Another worker going down, but this was all at the cost of basically 4 Predators. Checking the income is very heavily in RenieHouR's favor. Let's check that again. Yeah, he must have been transferring workers or something. Oh, I was looking at the wrong. Don't mind me. It's been... We're getting to the point when I've been casting for 4.5 hours that things start going awry, all right? So here goes another Predator trying to make its way, and I think this is the same one that may have escaped. Here it comes in, and will he get anything again? This could start getting expensive, and how much do these really cost? 25 gas could add up for sure, and they cost Terrazine. Most of the units that are good at harassing do cost Terrazine, and look at Apocalypse here with 8 warbots, and they all have fast tracks as well. This could really help him out, because it looks like RenieHouR is... Oh, well, this is scary. But he's making his Nidus network. He's got his Scrutinizer down here. I think I know what that means. He's about to get a Nidus into Apocalypse's base with all of those maggots. And the maggots, they shoot very slowly, but the longer they attack one target, the faster they shoot. And you're going to see they're very, very good units that you have to focus down. They also explode like a Baneling when you kill them, as they look like giant Banelings. And here we go. Let's keep an eye on this. Well, there's 2 things going on, and it looks like Apocalypse now realizing, uh-oh, he's going to keep attacking with his units, but here are the maggots, and it looks like Apocalypse is distracted. He's not unloading his Nidus Swarm because he's deciding... Did he decide to unload at home to defend himself? He took out 2 maggots to defend himself here, but this amount of warbots, they're impaired on the creep by 30%, and they're already very, very low on health. So now... RenieHouR is in the middle of Apocalypse's base. The maggots are just going to wipe out a lot of these tech structures, specifically the engineering department. And, whoopsies, getting a little crazy there with the map height. And Apocalypse had to run all of his workers, and he doesn't really have anything to hold out against this amount of roaches. And, you know, I commend Apocalypse. It's cool to see a really big Mobius build, but unfortunately, I'm not really sure what else he can do. He does have 1 orbital strike here if anything's in range to hit. Looks like no. And these maggots are just the worst. We'll add them to the list of the worst things ever as well. And let's see... Oh, that was a pretty good orbital strike. He did land it, but it's not enough to kill it. And he's now, it looks like Apocalypse trying to get up here and kill these maggots. If he can kill these, I'm pretty confident the roaches can be taken care of. But 1 maggot getting moved away very craftily by RenieHouR to make sure that it survives. As Apocalypse struggling to hold on, he is down in supply. He moved the rest of his units back. These units, they survived, and they made it back across the map. Will it be enough to hold on? RenieHouR, though, has not really lost anything at home, so he can continue macroing on the back end of this, while Apocalypse has to struggle to hold on and continue to lose units in his main base. He's going to probably lose 1 Mobius compound, and this amount of warbots is holding on. And it looks like Renie is committing to this. Renie is definitely committing to this, but Apocalypse, I don't think he realizes that the Nidus is up here. He's leaving. Oh, go and get it. Oh, yeah, okay, now he's going to get it. Now he's going to grab it, but he has been supply blocked as well, so Apocalypse definitely on the back foot, but RenieHouR's supply is much closer than I would have expected it to be. I think he was really focused on making that attack work, and now that it hasn't, Apocalypse may have an opportunity to get back in, but that was very, very rough. He lost 1 engineering department where Mobius armor was almost done. Meanwhile, Renie, though, like I was saying, has been able to macro on the back end of this. He's getting the artillery glands, which increases the range of these maggots. And what do we have here? We got an infestation coming up for infestors, which is also, I think, a tech requirement for a few other structures. Alrighty. More maggots, there we go. And he's destroying the rocks. Maybe to make sure he doesn't get blocked in some other instance. These things just look so ridiculous when they're attacking. I like them a lot. All right, and it looks like Apocalypse, just like last game, realizing I managed to barely hold on here. I think I need to just go. But these maggots, I don't know. I'm not really sure what the best way the best way to defend against these are. All right, he's going for arachnids now. So these roaches, they're going to look like Ravagers. They're not. They just look like Ravagers, and they morph from roaches, but they're just... They don't have corrosive bile. They have corrosive poison that you have to upgrade eventually, and it's a really cool ability that we could talk about if he goes for it. And he is going for it. The idea is, I mean, I'll just read it. Arachnids attack poisons the target, dealing damage equal to the impact damage after 10 seconds. So you can have some vengeance from the grave. All right, we have another Nidus worm coming out right here, and it's going to block access to the 4th base of Apocalypse. I mean, it depends on which, if that's going to be his 4th base, but... If he doesn't realize this is here, he's going to struggle. He's getting some Cobras out. He's going to use these to harass very, very fast harassment units. Now, Rainy might not have anything that can attack air. No, the Arachnids can attack air. You have to morph them from the Roach. 45 minerals, 25 gas, but otherwise, they're relatively cheap, I suppose. But otherwise, he would have nothing to attack air. And down go the Cobras. I think the Cobras were maybe the only thing that he had going for him to take out the roaches, but instead, Apocalypse is moving out with a ton of warbots and going for this brood hive right here. And here are the maggots. Gonna start doing tons and tons of damage. And instead of broodlings, you notice tiny banelings spawn from these buildings. They're not full-blown banelings. They don't do a ton of damage. Meanwhile, RenieHouR taking out the 2nd base of Apocalypse. And Apocalypse has just been consistently on the back foot. I don't know what he's going to be able to do to hold on. Well, I think he'll be able to clean this up, but he's just constantly behind in terms of macro. He wasn't able... Oh, never mind. He did get this brood hive. Apocalypse is definitely still in this. And here we go. Now, oh, he's got some Cobras in here. There's no anti-air here for Rainy. So Apocalypse is able to snipe these maggots. He's trying to frantically make arachnids right now. But these Cobras, keep in mind, are super fast. So if he wants, Apocalypse could get these out of here really, really fast. Arachnids are really not ideal for anti-air, but they do have the corrosive poison, so it's possible we're going to see these blow up now as the poison ticks. Yep, there we go. Well, that one didn't blow up, but it took some extra damage. So that's pretty cool. Meanwhile, was this Nidus never destroyed, or is this new? That must be new, as more maggots coming through here, and the issue, though, is that was a really good orbital strike, but the issue is he's getting tech structures, and he's getting Mobius magazines, but he's not really getting a lot of workers. So if we check the workers killed, it's about even. It's just Apocalypse is struggling to hold on to an expansion or go for a 3rd base. We have another Nidus canal here. RenieHouR is just forcing Apocalypse to stay in his base. Apocalypse, don't leave! Don't leave! Oh, no! How did you not see it? Oh, I mean, it pings the minimap. I hope he stays. Does he realize this is here? He has to know. Okay, he knows. Oh, I about had a panic attack right there. 3rd base for Rainy, though, on the rich minerals is set up. And is the Scrutinizer around here? What's allowing him to constantly spawn these? Now, the Scrutinizer's over here. Another 2nd base for Apocalypse. Gotta check the income, though. Yeah, Rainy is smashing Apocalypse in income, but Apocalypse has played really scrappy and has managed to hold on this long. And the game is Rainy's to lose, but that doesn't mean he won't lose it. It's possible. Anything is possible. Apocalypse keeps shutting down these Nidus canals, which is really just money down the drain for Rainy. And Rainy, though, is floating a lot of money, which means that he can probably do whatever he wants with that money. He's saving it because it looks like he's getting a Soaring Roost, which may allow him to make a lot of Corruptors. Now, Corruptors for Infested are not like vanilla Corruptors. They can attack ground. They're kind of like a bad Mutalisk. They don't have a bounce attack. They're a little more sturdy, but they attack slow and they don't have a bounce. But they're decent. They're decent. He might dump a bunch of money into that. We will see. Well, it's still in the makings. There's that organic carapace that we saw last match, which is a strange upgrade that I don't fully understand why anyone really needs it. I guess you get the plus 10 HP when you're not burrowed. I'll have to double check. And then some Guardian Worms coming up that is gonna defend his bases. We have a 4th base coming up for Rainy, and a 3rd base for Apocalypse has actually finished at the Rich. Now, if he can hold on to this and reestablish his income, Apocalypse has a great chance. These warbots are sturdy, they're fast, and they can shoot while moving, so he has a good opportunity here. Not sure what was happening there, why these droids were healing these SCVs that were... It looked like they were at full health. I don't know if I saw something. Okay, so let's see. 4th base still coming up, trying to keep track of this. Sorry, every so often if I go completely silent, it means I'm looking at the chat for a brief moment. Okay, so we have plus 3 Mobius weapons. Again, Apocalypse, full on Mobius. This is cool. It's cool. Oh, hybrid experiments. He did get his Teldream Anvil, and he's got a Teldream Anvil out. What does that mean? Will he be building anything from this? I mean, this just allows him to upgrade things, but I don't think he really has the money to afford going into hybrid. I think he wanted to. Looks like he's got a lot of... Oh, he's destroying the rocks to protect himself. All right, so he's got 10 Cobras flying across the map. Again, you can see how fast these move. It's crazy how fast these are, but they're so fragile. But if you can get them behind a mineral line, you're in good shape. And there are some Guardian Worms, but there are enough Cobras that are probably going to be able to wipe this out. This is interesting. When you get enough of these Cobras, unless there's a lot of anti-air splash damage, if you get enough, you can do really, really well. But Rainy responding with virtually Cobras of his own are these gnats. They're not locusts, they're gnats. Gains life from attacking biological targets. That's neat. I never knew that. It looks like Apocalypse once again going to be pushing across the map. No scrutinizers down here, which means he may actually be able to move out with this attack uninterrupted. And this force is scary. This amount of roaches can certainly be scary. Yeah, they do get the 10 life. They definitely get the 10 life when they're not burrowed. They get the armor when they are burrowed. That's fine. Okay, so what's going on here? What's he laying? Oh, no. There it is. The brood hosts. 3 brood hosts. This may spell the end for Apocalypse unless he can tech up to something else really fast. Now, he's going to try to escape, but he can shoot while moving, so he can do a fighting retreat here. As he tries to get away from these roaches, he's just going to keep shooting away. He got rid of the 4th base, or the whatever it is now, the 5th base, 3rd base, whatever. He got rid of a base of Rainy's. Rainy is now supply blocked, and he did get rid of a decent amount of those roaches, so now he's leaving. But this is where it's at. Do we have a more? There must be more upgrade coming. We don't, but another Nodus network is being built. We have corruptors and scrutinizers over here, which is probably why, well, Apocalypse left some stuff over here, so it's possible that, well, not with the gnats. The gnats are kind of like cobras. They're very, very similar. They're very fast, but very, 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 very fragile. No anti-air here at all. Oh, no anti-air here at all for Apocalypse. These gnats are just sitting here. Let's see if they get in there. They're going to start picking off stuff. But the warbot's actually going to start attacking these. Wait. Oh, the gnats can only attack air. I thought I saw them attack ground in a previous match. I must just be totally wrong. I'm just wrong. All right, so the gnats aren't as scary as I thought. Cobra's objectively better, but oh dear. We have 5 broodlords. Well, 2 broodlords out, 3 on the field. Yikes. Plus the 3 brood hosts. Rainy is 200. Is he looking to expand his supply? He is not. That's one thing we haven't seen for a while, actually. For a while, is raise supply cap to 255. And you can do even more. Oh, there's the Nidus. It's in the 4th base area of Apocalypse. Oh, God, this is scary. He does have a lot of warbots. He does have 1 hybrid reaver. It looks like he did start building out of those. And yeah, there we go. Rainy raising his supply cap to 230. All right. Oh, 1 brood host. 1 brood host getting sniped. That's huge. And it looks like he's using the warbots to snipe the brood lords. Wow, really good control by Apocalypse. Again, these warbots are sturdy. So he was able to get in there, use the warbots, and snipe those really powerful units of Rainy. And that was a strange engagement. I would not have expected that to go the way it did, and wow. And here he goes again with the warbots. He's getting in there. He has +3 attack. He got rid of all the brood lords, all the brood hosts. Oh, wow, that is not how I expected that to go. There is still a brood host on the field, though, and no more warbots. Let's check the units. What's on here right now? Yeah, so, Apocalypse only having 2 hybrid reavers on the field. Where are they right now? They're not harassing. They must just be sitting around. There they go. Using the hybrid reavers maybe to get on top of this brood host. Let's see how they're going to do. Not great, but oh god, a Nidus worm. He's trying to kill it. He does kill it before too much gets out. And he's using the hybrid reaver siphon life. Well, he's not using it. It's autocast. To get some of his life back. And very, very interesting hold by Apocalypse. Constant back and forth from both these players as Apocalypse is fighting tooth and nail to hold on. I never would have expected warbots to be this effective. Never. Not once. Like, I think I said this in an earlier match, but the warbot spam is the new mass marine spam for sure. Actually killing those scrutinizer. Oh no, those might have been more broodlords right there. We still have brood hosts on the field for RenieHouR. As there's hybrid behemoth coming out. for Apocalypse. Apocalypse somehow being able to hold on this game to tech to hybrid behemoths. Is he able to get Void Thrashers? He's starting the research now, and I mean, the thing is that costs a lot of Terrazine. That costs you a lot of Terrazine to do, but once you have it, it's a good time to start it now because your behemoth needs to build up energy anyway to summon it, but once you have it, that's going to be huge. But oh no, here comes Rainy. Lots and lots of roaches. I think now he's realized, you know, if I just roach spam, that's going to be more effective because Apocalypse doesn't have any AoE. So the behemoth might get out. The behemoth is out. It has a ton of health, but it can't summon the Thrasher. If he's able to spawn a Thrasher, but this thing won't have enough energy for a long time, this just roach spam might be enough. It really might be enough. This is a really cool composition. No Tal'Darim units at all, but very, very neat. It's too bad we probably won't see the Thrasher finish in time, but pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, the Cobras, though, keep in mind there's still no... Well, there is Antia. There's Arachnids now and Broodhost. The Arachnids might be very, very effective against the hybrid because of that poison. Okay, and this is going to be it. This is the engagement. Nothing else is happening around the map as... Oh, the hybrid behemoth does cleave damage, but also attacks very slow, you'll notice, as most of the roaches just get cleaned up really, really fast by the Reavers and by the behemoth. What a crazy engagement. What a crazy good use that we're seeing. Oh, and there's a Dominator out, too. We saw a Storm going out on the Broodhost, and I am surprised that this is working. Perhaps Summerloud will have to take a look at this game to review the balance because RenieHouR... I mean, look, Apocalypse has done really, really well to hold on here, but RenieHouR has been ahead, arguably, macro-wise, the whole game, and his late-game units simply just don't stand up to this composition. And we'll see if perhaps the hybrid-type builds need adjusted at some point. But really, really cool matchup so far, as RenieHouR will struggle to hold on. Now the tables are turning. Apocalypse is still down in supply, still down on bases. RenieHouR is trying to get his upgrades, and we have more hybrid behemoths coming out. We do have the Void Thrasher upgrade done. Enables hybrid destroyers to auto-cast Graviton Prison. Oh, okay, so we've seen that in the campaign, I think. But it looks like Apocalypse going to keep this push on. And I think he was trying early on just go straight Mobius so that he could save his money for hybrid. And look, Apocalypse deserves credit because he held on this long. And there's no way that he should have, but he did because he played so well. And RenieHouR, though, has just been on top this whole game, and he just can't do it because oh, actually, now he's kind of coming back, but the Dominator's with the Storm able to take out those roaches. And do we have the Roachling upgrades or anything like that? We don't. That might make a big difference, too. The Broodhost still alive. Let's check the units tab. Let's see, we have one Broodhost, one Maggot, and nothing else coming out for RenieHouR, but he does have 6 Broodhost building. Meanwhile, out for Apocalypse, he's got the Behemoth, he's got the Reaver, and a lot of Warbots. The Warbot spam is real, folks. What a dream. The score at the moment, I noticed Loeng asking in the chat, is 1-0 Rainy. So if Apocalypse wins this, it's tied. But this game, it could go to anybody at this point. And it scares me a little bit because I don't know if... Well, okay, Broodlords actually are a great answer to this. Because Broodlords, we noticed the way that Apocalypse got rid of Mass Broodlord was just with a ton of Warbots. He's pulled back a little bit from the Warbot spam and is because he's transitioning into hybrids. So Broodlord, if you could path block these hybrids, might be great. Not enough energy for a Void Thrasher yet. We've seen these behemoths, they do attack very slow, so there's that. But once they can spawn that Thrasher, that's when things are going to start changing. Mobius Armor level 3 coming out. I've never seen this much emphasis put on Mobius units ever before. This is nuts. Okay, and here come the Broodhosts and the Broodlords. And I think Apocalypse maybe realizes, nah, I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. The Broodhosts are super strong. They're very good and very, very, very strong. We don't have a more. There must be more upgrade, though. Rainy, he's been spending his Terrazine, and I'm not entirely sure on what. It's hard for me to keep track because that just happens to... That just is something that's used on upgrades and stuff, and sometimes I don't know exactly what it is. But Rainy is just expanding across the map. Apocalypse, though, does have a bunch of units. Oh, look at this! RenieHouR sneaking into the base with roaches and able to take out one hybrid tank. There's also a hybrid vault here, which allow him to start upgrading the hybrid attacks. I think that's cool that there's 3 types of upgrades. Really good orbital strikes, but Rainey's still having enough roaches here. He's taking out the infrastructure of of Apocalypse. Apocalypse trying to get in here and wipe out some of these roaches. I just noticed that hybrid Reaver autocast Siphon Life on a unit when it was at full health. Maybe change that autocast so that it only works when hybrid Reavers hit 500 health or something like that. That might be too good, actually. I take that back. Don't do that. Ugh, what a time to be alive. We got another base coming out from Apocalypse. This is crazy. Again, Rainey was such a commanding lead early on. He's at his tier 3. Broodhost, Broodlord is crazy. The only thing I could recommend to him is get the Roachling upgrade, get the More There Morby upgrade, and just overwhelm your opponent with summoned units, because even with Hybrid Dominators, he's not going to be able to storm all those summoned units at the rate that you can make them. Got Aberrations now. Slime load. Ah, yeah, shooting out that slime load. Loads down an enemy air unit with slime, slowing it down. Huh, that's neat. I mean, that's not really going to be used in any fashion. We've got another sneaky Scrutinizer with some more Nidus Worms, maybe. But 3 hybrid behemoths, 1 with enough energy. 1 with enough energy for a Void Thrasher, 1 with almost enough energy. There's the Void Thrasher. Oh, there it goes. Okay. But, you know, as powerful as it is getting overwhelmed by summoned units. And I love how back and forth this is. I was really quick to say, Covenant, nope, this is garbage, this is bullshit. But RenieHouR is holding on, and he's actually flanking the Warbots with Aberrations, which do very good against armored. Well, that doesn't matter because Warbots aren't armored, but looks like Rainey's trying to spam a bunch of roaches to flank these units. And the Void Thrasher, I suppose he's just trying to run away from it. The Broodhost, as it runs, may still be able to shoot out creepers. And here's the Broodlords again, and Apocalypse doing what he needs to do and hitting the Broodlords with his Warbots. That is big. That is really, really big. But here come a lot of roaches catching the Warbots out of position. If he can get rid of all the Warbots, then his Broodlords, if he makes any more, can roam free. One Behemoth. Did one Behemoth just get killed? Wow, one Behemoth just went down. But the Thrasher is still out. How long does this last? Does this just last forever? Rank Fusion. Does this just last forever? I think it does. Now, a big thing, actually, I noticed people in the chat pointing this out. Did Rainey forget his upgrades? It's possible that he did because he's 0-0 in the air, which, honestly, now looking back, that also could have made a big difference. So before I cry balance on this late-game Covenant, I have to say Rainey probably could have won this a long time ago, perhaps if he was upgraded a little bit better in the air, I suppose, because his Broodlords would have made a big difference. The Roaches, though, have 2-3 upgrades, so they're pretty solid. And this game is back to semi-stalemate. Apocalypse now taking the lead in supply. Apocalypse has been winning every single engagement that he's been taking lately. It's possible we saw another Nidus. That Scrutinizer's gone, so either Apocalypse found it or another Nidus went down and I missed it. But the physics department's up, the chemistry department's up, the vault is still up, and it looks like he's getting his hybrid upgrades. Now he's starting his flyer attack upgrades, ground armored +3, now just finishing. Oh dear. So we'll see. I mean, Summer, I see you in the chat. You're saying even after Roach nerfs, still mass Roach late game. I mean, I think with Infested, he's got his late game units, and I don't know what else he would make. I think you need that mass Roach to just be you need that meat. You need something in the front that is disposable that can die. He's asking, are those free? I'm not sure what he's referring to. Are those free? Oh, I think he means the Nidus? Are the Nidus Worms free? No, they're not free. I'm not sure what he's asking. I have no idea. Drop pods aren't free. Nidus Worm isn't free. I'm not sure what he's referring to. Here comes another Scrutinizer. Yeah, these drop pods are not free. But this is actually pretty cool. He's using those drop pods to an effect. I mean, the more infestation, or the more brood hives, excuse me, that you have, the more you can drop down, and it's forcing Apocalypse to have to react to this with his large, semi-slow army. So Rainey now slightly on the back foot. I would argue it's more even now rather than Rainey in the lead. This is allowing, I mean, it's what he has to do is kind of do some hit and run tactics. He's getting some vision with his Scrutinizers and he's dropping in these Roaches. And again, it's not free, it costs money. And if you don't have enough energy on your brood hives, there is a limit to how many times you can do it. Now, something some people could argue is, you know what? Just make a shit ton of brood hives. Make like 6 or 7 brood hives just like back here, and you can just drop those anywhere you want. I suppose that could be abused, but until I see someone do it, I'm not going to complain. It looks like these roaches actually going to pick off the 6th base here, one of the bases of Apocalypse. So now he's down to 5 bases, but he's also mined out here and in his main base. Meanwhile, Apocalypse, though, deciding to attack into the main base of Rainy, into the outlying bases of Rainy's main base, I should say. And what does Rainy have to deal with this? He's spawning a bunch of roaches. Meanwhile, yep, there's the roaches and lots of broodlords now. They are +1, not as high as they could be, but oh, these roaches. I think he's going to try to get him stuck on this ramp. Now, these warbots are going to do the same thing that they've been doing, but Rainy has a huge positional advantage right now. I think Apocalypse knows that he doesn't want to attack across that ramp. It looks like he's going to go down and around, but in either case, he's got to cross a ramp, and as long as those warbots can't get underneath the broodlords are going to be huge in this engagement. We also have 2 brood hosts that are fully upgraded. We have tunneling coming out from Rainy. Interesting. Rainy also has increased his supply cap, which is something you can just do in HeptaCraft. Oh, Broodmother level 3, get out of there. Both players perhaps a little hesitant. I mean, Rainy was ready. Rainy wanted to take this fight. He wanted Apocalypse to make a fumble there and run across those bridges, and it would have been hugely in his favor. But instead, Apocalypse not taking the bait and deciding to go around and take out an outlying base of Rainy. This is a great game so far, 31 minutes in, and it's near even. Both players having huge armies. Apocalypse down in supplies slightly, but he's got very powerful units, and he's got a behemoth with enough energy to summon a Void Thrasher. There's the Void Thrasher! And I think Rainy, I'm not sure, is he going to try to take this out? I think he realizes it might be better if he just stays away from it, but that would also abandon his outlying base. I mean, this is almost mined out anyway. The Roach is trying to circumvent the Void Thrasher. Good God, the amount of AoE going up by the Void Thrasher and the Dominator is just absolutely crazy. And this is the second game we've seen Void Thrashers just absolutely dominate the end game. This behemoth is almost dead. Oh, it's almost dead. Perhaps make it so that the Void Thrashers can't move the lightning AoE that they're doing. Like, once they target a spot and that's it. Like, you can more easily move out of it. Oh, this behemoth is so low. And actually, now that the Void Thrasher is not really in the picture anymore, Apocalypse's army is very vulnerable. Very, very vulnerable. And Rainy trying to get in there with the Broodlords. Oh, the Warbots with the +3 scare the shit out of me. If these Broodlords had +3 armor at this point, that would just make them much more impenetrable to the Warbots, but unfortunately they're only sitting at +1 base armor. But if he got that +3 in the air, he might be able to stand taking those hits from the Warbots. And here goes Rainy now, perhaps on the offensive. He's deciding what he wants to do. Looks like he might pull back. As Apocalypse now skedaddling, he realized, he took his base. He took the base he wanted to destroy. Rainy taking his left side base. This game is really cool. All right, but yeah, the Void Thrashers, there's a few different things. It's very rare you see them, but we've actually seen them twice this tournament, which is very nuts. All right, so here's the behemoth. What is Rainy going to do? Well, he's got the Broodlords, and here they come around one of the ramps. He also has it looks like Apocalypse has a Nemesis out. Rainy, though, trying to transfer his workers. And I think both players are going to start struggling for income now as the map begins to mine out. Some really good summons right there, getting some good hits off on Apocalypse's army. Throwing down a storm right there to stop him, but oh, this amount of Cobras, he's going to use this as a strike force to start getting rid of this amount of Broodlords. The Broodlord's starting to get picked off right now. He decides to just leave them here to fight so they can spawn as many Broodlings as he can before it's too late. The Broodlords, though, trying to escape, trying to get to a spot where they can finally turn around and start sending out Broodlings. This amount of Reavers, though, soaking up the hits. Oh my God, this behemoth is so low. I want it to die so badly. These Brood Hosts, oh, they're trying to run. They're trying to run, and these Brood Hosts are making a huge difference in these fights for sure. As these Creepers, it's hard to see them, but they are doing a lot of damage. The Nemesis goes down. One Brood Host goes down, though, and both of these armies have whittled themselves apart. Rainy, you've got some roaches. Get them in there, buddy. Oh, my word. As the Broodlords now continue to try to kind of kite around these Warbots, they're not going to do great at it, but they're doing their best. The Broodlings are still in there. The Nidus Destroyers now, he's luring them back to his ramp. And Apocalypse has Rainy sort of on the back foot, but Rainy, oh no! The last Brood Host goes down to the Hybrid Reaver because of that awful, awful Siphon Life. And now the supply is evened up, and Apocalypse is right in the middle of Rainy's base. He's gonna snipe the Roach Warren, which will not allow him to spam roaches anymore. Both players have, like, no money at all. Oh, good God, it hurts. It hurts to watch. Now, Rainy is not out of this. He can make a Roach Warren anywhere he wants. Anywhere he wants. As long as his Broodmother survived, then he could make it anywhere. I don't think the Broodmother went down. But if you look at this, we have 2 more Hybrid Reavers coming out from Apocalypse. But the incomes are... Oh, look at this! We had some roaches come into this base and start sniping away workers. He's got burrowed roaches. And Rainy... I think this is what he was doing earlier. When he realized he was at a disadvantage, he started sending roaches all over the map to try to get rid of a lot of the economy of Apocalypse. If Rainy could somehow clean this force up, this force is killer, but if he could clean this up, Soaring Roost goes down, he's in a good spot. It's just income. Rainy's income is struggling right now. He's got this base mining and this base mining, but his other four brood hives are not in good shape. And in fact, Rainy is ahead in supply. I'm not sure if he realizes this. But all of his tech has been sniped, which is a problem. But down here in the left, there are the roaches, like I was saying. Missed it. I missed it, but we saw the outcome. And here are the hybrid, and I don't think these do cleave damage, so if he might be able to man fight against these, but he would lose a lot of his roaches. I think Rainy knows that he can't stand to even lose this amount of roaches at this point, even though they're meant to basically be thrown away. Oh dear, okay. And we do have, well, there's a lot of gnats out right now, but I don't know to what effect. Oh, using 2 roaches to get rid of 1 command dome. And this is really intense as both players doing their best. The Brood Host right here, these units. Oh, 1 Hybrid Reaver probably going to go down right away because he was trying to run it up to go straight for the Brood Hive, but in fact it goes down. Tons more roaches coming out. And again, at this point in the game, what can you really expect Rainy to do? He's got to spawn something cheap to try to hold on. Another Hybrid Reaver going down. If these roaches can finish the Brood Host, no! 2 more Hybrid Reavers coming out too, but here come all of these roaches. Both players have no money. Both players have just no money. And these roaches, they just can't hold on at this point in the game. They just don't perform well. But Warbots do. So as much as people are talking about, you know, the roach nerf, perhaps, oh, what a game. Perhaps Warbots need changed for a late game nerf. I don't know. It's really hard to say because roaches just couldn't stand against that composition. And it was late game. What a great game though. We saw some really, really crazy play from both players. Props to Apocalypse for taking the win, for holding on after almost losing so many times. And props to Rainy for just pushing and pushing and doing some really cool Nidus play and just barely lost. The income, look at the income. Apocalypse had no money. He had no minerals. It just really came down to these last few engagements.